Hi everyone, today we're going to be doing an updated brow routine for a couple of reasons. So number one, I'm constantly getting asked about my brows, whether I've updated my routine in any way, what products I'm using, how long it takes me, what process I go through to get my brows looking the way that they do when I sit down and film, because they definitely don't look like that when I first wake up in the morning. And also too, when people ask me about my brow routine or what products I'm using, I'm constantly having to steer them towards get ready with me videos when they actually don't really want to watch that entire video. They just want the brow section. So instead of me completely every single get ready with me video doing the same brow routine within that video, I can cut that out and just tell people to come and search for this video, or maybe link it at the end of each of those videos. That way the videos will be shorter and you get to see exactly what you want to see without trailing through a load of other stuff. So that's what we're going to be doing today. If you're new here, hi, my name's Gemma. I upload new content on YouTube every single week. If you like what you're seeing, I would love it if you'd click on that like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell so you don't miss any future content like this in the future. So I now always start with brows when I do my makeup, and that did not always used to be the case. I used to do brows mid-makeup routine, but I've switched things up a little bit for numerous reasons. Number one, I think brows are super important. They really frame the face, they frame the features, and they can also lift the features as well, giving your eyes that elevated appearance, which is incredibly youthful. Also, if your brows are already done, you can use your brows as a guide for the rest of your makeup. So any eyeshadow that you're doing, any eyeliner that you're doing, even the way that you place your blush, you can use your brows as a guide where to place the other products that you're applying to your skin. Also though, I think it's way easier to clean up either any mistakes or any excess products like brow glues, brow waxes, brow gels if you haven't previously applied any other products like foundation or concealer around the brows to begin with. And if you are a face toucher, if you like to rest your hand on your skin to steady the hand in order to get those really nice brow-like strokes, if there's nothing on your skin, there's no risk of the warmth of your hand lifting any of the product that's been previously applied. So that's why I like to do my brows first. You may have a different routine, and that is totally fine. That's just me. You do you. So firstly, I start with my Schwarzkopf Got2b brows and edges. I've had this for months and months and months. I use this every single day. There is no sign of it running out anytime soon. I love it, and I tend to start from the wing of my brow, go backwards, brushing my hairs downwards in the opposite direction that they grow, get the product really in there, and then go in the direction of the brow hair. Now, I used to have my brows laminated. That has all gone now. It's probably a year since I had my brows laminated, so there's no sign of any of it left in my brows. But I do still like that laminated look. So once I've got the product in my brows, I like to just push those brow hairs back slightly. And then if I do have any excess product, I'll just try and clean that up with my finger rather than a wipe of any sort with any cleanser on it. Only because I already have my skincare on and also my SPF, so I don't want to remove any of that product at all. It is really important, however, to remove any excess products from around the brows, because that will stop the rest of your products, like your foundation, from sitting properly on the skin, and it won't look very nice. So I always make sure that that's all gone. I know some people like their brows to stand up straight at the front of their brows. I just like to go with the flow, depending on what I feel in a morning, depends on how I style them. So sometimes I do lift that front section up vertically, and sometimes I like to swoop it off to the side. Just depends what mood I'm in. Once the brow glue has completely dried down, and it is so important, you don't want to be applying any other product on wet brow glue or even damp brow glue. So just wait a couple more seconds, be really patient and make sure that that's completely dried down before you move on to the next step. But the next step for me is the most important, and I use 3 products in this routine. I used to just use 2, but using 2, it used to take me twice as long, which is really quite strange saying that out loud, but this step for me is the most important because it's mapping out the brows, which means that I know for a fact that the 3rd step in this routine, filling it in with those baby-like strokes, is going to go seamlessly and effortlessly because I've already completed this step. So I know I'm not going to make any mistakes. So I take my NYX microbrow pencil in the shade Ash Brown, and I'm literally going to map out the lower outline of my brow. So I'm going to go all the way right to that front section of the brow where I want it to start, and then I'm going to create the wing. And this can be changed because this is such a soft, beautiful product. With the aid of the spoolie on the end of the NYX microbrow pencil, if you do make a mistake, very easy to buff that away and start again. So as soon as I've done that lower outline, I'm going to move straight on to the other side. And symmetry is the goal. It's definitely the goal. No brows are twins, and mine are distant relatives. They are definitely not brother and sister. They are so different. So this for me is an incredibly important step. So once I've done the lower outline, I've got the start point, the arch point, and the tail point. I like to put a little dot at the highest point of my brow on that top line. So I've not made a line at all because you would be able to see this. You would have to then remove the line, which just defeats all object. So I just like to put a little dot. No fake hairline stroke will go higher than that dot, but I do like to put it there just for point of reference, and the same on the other side. And then I pretty much take a ruler or anything straight. I don't actually do that anymore, it's by eye, but when you're first starting out, if you want to do this, you can use a ruler if you want. Those start points will be at the same level, the arch points at the same level, and the tail points at the same level. Also, these 2 little dots at the same level. If they're all at the same level horizontally, then even if you've got a thicker point here and a thinner point here, your brows will look even. It's a bit of a trick of the eye, and it's just a way of making your brows look symmetrical even when they're not. So that's the rule that I like to follow. And then I move on to step 3. And step 3 is far simpler because we've already done step 2. I take my Lift and Snatch brow pen in the shade Ash Brown, and I'm going to start from the center portion of my brow. Again, didn't used to do this because usually there may be a little bit of excess on the brush, and that's far easier to disguise if you go into the outer section of the brow first. But instead of doing that though, I'm just going to make a hair-like stroke on the back of my hand to remove any excess product so we don't get any globs of product on the skin. Then I'm going to go straight in to this front section. Again, I'm going no lower than this lower line here, and I'm not going to go any higher than this top little dot here. So individual little strokes. And I'm going to speed this section up for you so you don't get bored, but you will see the entire lot. I'm not going to cut any out. So once I've done the first pass, I like to sit back, look at my brows, see if there are any bald spots. Once I'm happy, I move on to the next brow. And that's my brows completed. I know the way that I do my brows isn't going to be for everybody. I know that the way I like to style my brows also isn't going to be everybody's cup of tea. I do like that laminated look. I also like the way that by lifting the brow hairs, it also makes the eyes look like they're also lifted as well. And I like that denser, fuller brow look rather than the look that I started off with where I hardly had any brow hairs whatsoever and they were a little bit invisible on my face. They blurred into nothingness. This way, my face is framed, my eyes are lifted, and I have a guide for all of the rest of my products. Anyway, I really hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments section. Hope to see you all in the next video. Bye everyone.